Hi everybody, and welcome to the Electronic Harassment Parent Coalition of Palm Springs, California. I'm Kevin Bond, the owner of the site, and welcome back. Okay, as usual, I'm going to work on telling you guys about the postings for today. And as you can see from the blog header today, the topic is, whose life is it anyways? Well, I can assure you that it's mine, and not Lori's. I'm really frustrated because I just recorded this video once and then YouTube went offline, so it didn't record right. So I'm really going to try to get this exactly the same as I just recorded it because it was really good. But basically today's postings are about what it's like to be stalked by somebody that has no life. Basically, I have been followed for, gosh, almost, well, since at least 1991, as far as we can tell, 1991, when I was in college. And what we're going to see in the future, and what you're going to see with the evidence, is that I'm not following anybody. I'm the person that would go somewhere else if I knew this person was there. And, you know, I wouldn't work this hard on this project to try to stop electronic harassment if I was the one that was using it to follow anybody. I hope that makes sense to you guys. First of all, I want to add that it is really, really annoying to me as a person to have had situations, and they happen often, where this person that is following me is using my own life stories as her own. Well, so you have to understand, you can clearly see who the person being stalked is as opposed to the person being stalked, because I'm the one that has the airline tickets. I'm the one that went on the trips, met the movie stars, talked to the people, had life experiences, and took pictures. And this person goes into, you know, her computer, and she sits there and watches what I do and turns it around to make it a story about herself. Now, the fact of the matter is that I have actually heard my own stories come out of the mouths of police officers and online. Most of you realize, and I've told you before, oh, I wanted you to see this. Sergeant Anderson, you see my pupils? See? I'm at work right now, so this is another life experience of mine. I work. I have a job. I have income tax, and I have paycheck stubs. So this is my experience, not hers. So I wanted to tell you guys that, like, there was a point at which my parents and I went over to Sergeant Anderson's house, and he thought he was like interviewing me and trying to give me like this big brotherly kind of love thing where like I was, you know, using drugs, and he was going to, you know, show me faces of meth and say this is what's going to happen to you and all this other stuff. And I got it, you know, I get that stuff. That's fine. But what he didn't know was everything that led up to that. And, you know, it wasn't just, you know, in the days before, which were horrible days with Lori and her brother. It was like decade of being followed. And so my experience was that there were a lot of cops that were doing a lot of things for her. And I knew that when I was told that morning that we were going over to Brian's house, that I was going to get an opportunity to see if he was one of them. And so while he was, you know, kind of keeping an eye on me, I was actually interviewing him. And he brought up this girl's name, the girl that's the petitioner for the city of La Quinta. But what he didn't realize was he was recounting a story of mine that I tell people about the first time I smoked marijuana. Okay? And, ooh, he's a bad person. He smoked marijuana. Well, Seth Green will tell you that I'm not a bad person for smoking marijuana. And so will Rihanna and Miley Cyrus. And, well, you know. Anyways, I was sitting here listening to this cop tell me a story about this girl that she is telling him to tell me about, my first experience smoking pot, only she substitutes herself for me and him for other people that were there. And if you look at the age difference between the two, there's absolutely no way that story is true coming from him. And if you know Brian, you know that he doesn't do that. So I knew it was bull from the beginning. And, he says this girl's name, and of course, I have experience with her. My experience is that she doesn't like gay guys. She really hates me. And she runs around and tells everybody how even after, she graduated from high school, she was continuing to try to have me beat up by this guy named James. And that's the absolute truth, because there was a guy named James in high school that, I didn't know what his deal was, but he, every chance he got tried to beat me up. So, I knew off the bat there's this story. And I thought, you're just telling me my own story. And once again, that's one of those situations where the police are doing something for her to try to make it look like she has something to do with them. Then you have the Christopher Monty arrest. Okay? And if you look online, you will see that somebody is actually using the name of my 20-year-old pet cat, Molly, whom I called Molly Bond. Well, the HUS means husband. Molly Bond, husband. All right, well, Lori equates Molly Bond with me, and my husband would be Christopher. So, online, this Molly Bond hus is saying that she witnessed this crime where Christopher supposedly had hit somebody at Will Stiles. She, like Wonder Woman, I wonder if she is a woman. She says she is. Anyways, like Wonder Woman, chases him down the street. Wait till you see her. You're just never going to believe that could happen, by the way. On the cell phone with the 911 operator the entire time. Then she goes into recounting a story from Volume 1, Blue Diary, My Life from San Diego, about two people that picked her up while she was chasing him on his erratic joyride to follow him to the point where he is arrested. But they don't talk to the cop. All they do is note the bittersweet irony of the fact that he is wearing a shirt that says "Say No to Drugs," which he is slanderizing, I don't think that's a word, but slandering Christopher by saying and assuming that he's on drugs while he's doing this, and how she's the person that caught him, good for her, and that the cops did a great job, good for them. And now this violent criminal that she knows all about should now be locked away for as long as possible because he is a bad guy wearing a shirt that says "Say No to Drugs." And then you look at his booking photo and he's wearing a collared polo shirt, which is a lie because he's not wearing the shirt that she says he is. So I have to, as the informant in this case and Christopher's best friend, sit there and take that this woman has once again used a story from my life, something that I wrote about in a diary that you will see, and she's using it to make him look bad. See, the problem is that these cops absolutely don't use their heads. There's absolutely no way that some woman is on the phone with the 911 operator the entire time she's chasing him down the street, getting in a car or truck with two newlyweds, which is a story that's in my diary about when I went to Kauai and was picked up by people that gave me a lift into Princeville, and it's just mine. And to me, it's one of those things where I look and I think to myself, can people really be this stupid? And apparently, if you look at my arrests and Christopher's and everybody else's in the situation, they're not doing much investigation. They're just taking her word for it. Well, I want the 911 calls, and we're going to get them. And what you need to see from today's postings is that, whose life is it anyways? Well, this girl sits at her computer all day long, day and night, night and day. And she looks at what I'm thinking about and then comes up with these little stories about my life. Well, I'm the one that lived it. I'm the one that has pictures from New York City. I'm the one that, went to Hollywood. And I'm the one that, met the people. It's not her, it's me. And I'm certainly not following her around because I'm not recounting her stories, which I wouldn't want to know in the first place, because she probably doesn't have anything more than, falling down on the keyboard asleep. But it is ridiculous for me to have to sit here and tell all of you that Christopher was arrested under anything but the most sinister of circumstances. And I know that feeling because I've been there too. And then, of course, Lori tells Sergeant Anderson, once I've been arrested, your friend got arrested last night. You should go see him so he can come in and shame me. And I do believe that when he did come in to see me in the holding cell, I never told the police that he was a friend of mine when I got arrested. I do believe that I told him it's not what it looks like. Because if I had told him anything else, he would never have believed me. But he believes her? Now you look at this petition for the city of La Quinta, and you wonder, because this petitioner says she doesn't know anything about me, nothing, that I've become obsessed with her. But then you have a cop like my police contact, Sergeant Anderson, recounting stories from my life, proving that she does. I'm wondering right now how she's going to get away with knowing all these things about me now that she's gone on the record and said that she doesn't know a single thing about me since high school. Because she also says she doesn't know any of my friends. So now she can't claim that any of them told her this. And I know I didn't tell her. And she conveniently forgets a lot of things when she talks to this attorney for the county of Riverside, like her uncle's involvement in my brother-in-law's shooting. She forgets conveniently that when it comes to outing somebody as a gay person, she was the first one that threw the first knife. She conveniently forgets that she runs around and tells everybody that she knows Stephen Fry to the police, and it's a Stephen Fry thing, when the commissioner's secretary gets called and we get flagged in that courtroom. But how in the world is she going to say that she doesn't know Stephen Fry when Stephen used to deliver drugs to her? And I know he did that. And how is she going to say she doesn't know anybody that I know post-high school when she's standing there with pictures of my friends in Sedona days after I saw them on the same dates that I was there on vacation? See, I'm not the one following her, because if she was going to Sedona and I knew about it, I'd have gone to the other side of the world to be away from her. Okay? And I want everybody to understand something. I want you to see my demeanor. My demeanor is that of a person who wants this to stop. I want people to understand that I don't want this. I don't want to be followed anymore. I have been followed since I was like 20 years old. And I want it to stop. And if you were in the same position of me, I don't know how you would go about it, but this is the way I chose to. So that's it for tonight. I hope everybody understands that I am not following her at all. I would rather not know her. And I always have. These are my stories from my life, not her stories from hers that I'm using. And I can verify it. Have a good night. You guys enjoy the postings from today, and thanks. Keep coming back. Bye. Love you, Christopher.